welcome back to another what should be award-winning episode of NH Unscripted, where Proud Mary keeps on burning, and that makes me your Creedence Clearwater Revival Like host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the YMCA-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. You know the drill. I got my Nehru jacket on, my bell-bottom pants, and my platform shoes, because I'm a cool kind of guy. Break out those transistor radios. I got an 8 transistor, but the rich kids got the ones with 16 transistors in them. Fire that thing on over to 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, or 101.9 FM for the beautiful souls in Manchester. And yeah, we got a URL. Duh, of course we do. Where all the cool kids are. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. I'll give you a little bit more information about what's going on out there later. I need to thank my sponsor, Lakes Region Fence up in Guilford. Lakes Region Fence, they have a URL. It's lrfence.com. If you are looking out your window and you see something that you think used to look like a fence, well, maybe it's time to go out to lrfence.com. Check out your options. There's a button out there. You click the button. That'll give you a free estimate. We old folks like free. That's why we always use coupons and stuff. Free is very good for us. That'll come out, give you a free estimate on your fence. They do top-notch work. I've been on their job sites. Matt's a good friend of mine, and their work is exemplary, and I do mean that. That is not an overstatement. I really mean they do incredible work. lrfence.com. Go on out, you and your squeeze, take a look at the website. Just kind of smile at each other as you see the potential that could be in your yard. They do commercial. They do pickleball courts, sports courts. They do pool fences. They used to do dog runs. I don't know if they still do. You might want to talk to Matt about that when he comes out for your estimate. lrfence.com. Thank you, Matt, for all you do to sponsor this show. We appreciate it. Okay. We tend to major on entertainment for the most part at NH Unscripted. Get it? Entertainment, scripts. Yep. But you know what? Folks got to get to the shows. What good is performing if nobody can get there? In the house, I have asked Kevin Lefebvre from F&R Transportation in Manchester to be on the show. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am well, thank you. You know, I was out looking on your Facebook page and your website, and I'm like, wait, this is totally different. This is not just an Uber. So first of all, if you would, give us your website information, your Facebook information, phone number, whatever you want to do, and then we'll get into chatting about how you're different.
Sure. So my Facebook page is F&R Transportation. You can check that out. My website is fandrtransport.com. The number you can reach me at is 603-361-5531, and you can call me there anytime. That's a cell phone. Or you can even send me a text if you're tech savvy and you want to do that as well.
We are tech savvy. Yes. My audience, I don't think they're all in homes. Nursing homes, trying to figure out what's going on. Anyway, Kevin, tell me how you even thought, there's a niche here that is not being filled. I mean, there's Uber, and there's cabs, and there's buses, and there's trains. There's friends and neighbors. What made you possibly think, I could fill a little hole here that I think needs to be done?
Sure. So I used to work in the medical field. I was a front desk receptionist for probably about 5 years, and I just got so tired of seeing people get stuck, especially the elderly, where they'd come in with transportation, a neighbor or something. Neighbor would leave them there, and then they'd go out and go finish their grocery shopping or whatever, and they'd get stuck. Or they were worried about having to ask their kids to bring them to their next appointment when their kids are still working. So I said, there's got to be a better way out there. And I looked, and there was nothing that really honed in on the elderly and trying to get them where they needed to be. And I said, I think I'm going to give that a shot. And that was 5 years ago. And today I'm busier than ever. And getting people where they need to go.
Are you the only driver?
I am.
You are.
I am.
Are you busy?
I am. Most days I start at between 7 and 7:30 in the morning and go right till about 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll bet you could go longer.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. Where is your main demographic? Is it mainly Manchester or?
So I have actually a big demographic. So I use 25 miles in and around Manchester. So that gets me up here into Concord, gets me down to Londonderry, Salem. I chose that distance. My grandmother lives in Boston, and if she ever had one of her neighbors that needed help, I'd want to be able to help them. So that's why I chose enough of an area to be able to include my grandmother. So,
oh, man, you're so sweet. So sweet. The one of the things that caught my attention on your website is you don't just pick them up and drop them off.
Correct.
What else do you do? What did you add in there?
So not only will I pick them up and drop them off, I wait for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I was like, what? Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's what sets me apart is that I won't just leave you there hanging, worrying about when I'm coming back. I don't overschedule myself. So when you book into my schedule, that is your block. There is nobody else that I schedule into that block, so that when you're ready to go home, you're going home. And I include, going to, even you got to go to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription afterward. Just saw the doctor and you're like, man, I really need that new script he gave me. We'll stop there too. And I don't charge extra for that.
What?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Dude, you're going to go broke. What? Okay, that's interesting. So how does this all work? How do they contact you? How do they even find you? Where are you? What do you have that where they go to look for the information?
So you can, I do a lot of work with a lot of the local hospitals. You'll find a lot of social workers have my information.
They do?
Yeah. I've worked really hard at building a network within the medical field just because that's where I find that people need the most help. I had, about a year ago, I had a doctor in Lebanon refer me. And I'd never met the doctor, but they heard good things from somebody, a nurse that was down at one of the local hospitals, and they said, you got to use this guy,
That's a long way away.
That's a long ways away. And I do those rides as well. So I do go to Lebanon. I do go to Boston. I do go to all those other places. There's a lot more involved with that. But yeah, so I do that. You can find my information. Like I said, I'm on Facebook, so there's a lot there. But I push out the word through a lot of word of mouth. I did one ad in the paper a few years ago. I've done a few of the elderly networking events that they have in Manchester once a year. But it's really been mostly word of mouth.
You do all your own marketing.
I do everything myself.
Billing, everything?
Everything. I am a one-man show.
Wow. So there is a place out on your website, which is, again, fnrtransport.com.
Correct.
Where there's like a button or a form you can fill out, but does it bring you to a page that shows what's open? How do people know what they might be able to ask you about?
Sure. So that I don't put my schedule out there just yet. I've kind of tinkered around with that. That sends me an email. What that does is that form will get you an email directly to me, and then I would immediately call and say, hey, I got your email, your request for a ride. Let's talk about it. Let's really hone in on where you're trying to go. Where do you live? Get all the information there. I find that most of my demographic doesn't use that anyway.
What? They don't?
Yeah. I have 2 clients that have cell phones. They're the only ones. 99% of my clientele still have a house phone. In fact, I have 2 clients with the turnstile rotary phones. So
you're killing me.
So, I try to, cater to that demographic, make it as simple as possible because they're stressing out. They don't want to bother their kids. They don't want to bother their neighbors.
Yeah.
And they don't know, they just don't know how to use the internet. I have...
Isn't that funny, huh?
Yeah. I have one client that still works. I've been in business 5 years and I've only had one client that still works full time. And so, and then,
Do you provide the transportation for work?
I do. I
do?
I do. I have a woman that is a hostess that I provide transportation for.
All right, Kevin, hang on. You hear that music? Hang on. Ooh, baby, I am locked in. You are listening to NH Unscripted. Oh, my gosh. What a fascinating subject, let me tell you. We are coming to you from the Hogan Heroes Like Digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM for you beautiful folks here in Concord. 101.9 FM for the gorgeous souls in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. F&R Transportation. Kevin Lefebvre is in the house. We're talking business. We'll be right back. Well, it's a turn down day. I am your Circle Like host, Ray Dudley. That's Circle with a C-Y-R-K-L-E. Those of you who know your rock and roll, baby. We are coming to you from the beautiful, beautiful Green Acres Like Digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM on your transistor radios. And for the beautiful souls in Manchester, which this may actually be applicable more to you, 101.9 FM. The URL, where all the cool kids are, is nhtalkradio.com. Kevin Lefebvre is in the house. We're talking transportation, in particular F&R transport, and because our audience needs to get around. Yeah, baby, I'm looking at you, Kevin. So is there anything you don't do? Do you have like okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not taking your cat. I'm taking your dog, or something like that. Any restrictions?
I've actually been asked to transport a dog, and I said I would do it.
You are a golden kid. So are there any other requirements? So what do you kind of ask them when they call up? You do you say, you get a walker, you need a wheelchair, you get all that kind of stuff? What
Absolutely. So I am not a wheelchair transport.
Okay.
I don't have a van. I only have my Toyota Camry that I use to transport people. So my first question is, are you able to get in and out of a vehicle by yourself? That is my very first question. And then, do you need anything transported? Like a transport wheelchair or a walker or anything like that. I can't transport somebody who's confined to a wheelchair, but if they have like a transport wheelchair where that folds up and they can get in and out on their own, then I'll push them into the, to the doctor's office with it and all that. But that's really my only restriction, is that I don't have a wheelchair van. That'll come down the road, as now that I'm really growing, that'll happen, but just not right now. The only other restriction I have is I like to try to stay within the Manchester area, within that 25 miles.
Yeah.
But I'll take you to the grocery store. I'll take you to the pharmacy. If you need help going grocery shopping, I'll go in with you.
You will.
I will. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a client that
You're like the son we wish we had.
I have a client that I go shopping for. Gives me a grocery list, and she gives me the money, and I go and...
You're like a concierge. Mother of God, this guy's incredible.
So, but yeah, that's I spent a lot of time watching my grandparents, wishing they had extra help that weren't my parents. And my parents took care of both of their parents, and there was just nothing out there. And so when I went into business, I said, that's what I want to be. Who would I want to be taking care of my grandmother on a daily basis if needed? What would I want them to do? How would I want them to treat her? And I said, that's what I'm going to be. So that's why I do the shopping. I have a client that I take to Dartmouth, Massachusetts to go get lunch with a friend.
What?
Yep, the lunch with a friend. It's a 2-hour ride down, a 2-hour ride back, and he buys me lunch. And we have lunch together, and he sees his friend who owns the restaurant, and we have lunch, and I do that probably once a quarter. But
Wow.
but I try to get people where they need to go.
Dude, you're so kind. So kind.
Thank you. I love doing it. I love people. I've always been a people person, but I love doing it. I love hearing stories. And I become,
I'll bet they got a ton.
oh yeah, I become a sounding board for a lot of people. A lot of people I'm a sounding board for. But yeah, and that's so there's really no restriction. I mean, I've been asked all kinds of crazy things, like the dog thing.
Yeah.
I had a guy that had.
Do you say like no Great Danes or something, or I mean?
Got to fit in the back of my car.
Okay.
Got to fit in the back of my car.
Not in the trunk.
Not in the trunk. Got to fit in the back of my car. And then the other thing, like, I know some places will, if you have more than one person, they charge extra. That's all included.
What?
That's all included. I don't charge extra. If you're bringing your son or daughter to the appointment with you, they're no extra charge.
Okay, hang on. So let's say some elderly person decides they want to go the drive-in and they want to bring 4 of their friends. You're just going to let one pay and everybody's loading in.
I mean,
the nursing home's loading in.
I've never had that one
Kevin's
before.
here.
I've never had that one before. That would be, that'd be an interesting ask. I've never taken that call. That's a call I've never had.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I set you up good.
Yeah.
What about? I mean, obviously, dealing with those of us who are getting older, there are medical issues. What's the line you draw there? I mean, obviously, you don't give them medicine, and you don't. Are you tied in with like a health network? I mean, what if something happens? So
no, that's I'm non-emergency medical transport. That's what my classification is. So that means if you've got a sprained ankle and you need to go to the ER to go, I can do that. But if you're having a heart attack, don't call me.
Okay.
Don't call me. I mean, I do have I have been CPR certified, but I've never had to use it.
Don't break out the paddles.
Right. But that's kind of my limit. I mean, I've taken people that with all kinds of ailments and issues, but I can never, I'm just a driver at that point. I can help get you in and out and I can get you there. But when it comes to all the medical stuff, that is not me. That is not,
Well, I wouldn't want it either.
Yeah, no.
Do they have to sign waivers?
No, I don't have a waiver. I could. If there's a special, I had a client that I brought to dialysis that he was very weak, and I created a waiver. I had a waiver. We had to come up with a waiver so that if something happened because he had fallen or anything like that, I just didn't want to be responsible for that.
Yeah, I can't blame you.
You know what I mean? And if I have somebody that's really there's real issues there, then I would use that again. But most of my clients are able to get they're independent. They live on their own.
They just don't drive.
They just don't drive anymore. Right. They give up their license. I have a 97-year-old that just gave up his license.
Oh, really?
97.
Wow.
And he walks. He goes for a run twice a week.
Dude, I don't run twice a week.
Me either. But yeah, he's 97. He goes for a run twice a week. My eyes aren't good anymore. I'm not driving.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh my God. So, do you have special licensing issues for your vehicle? I mean, what do you fall under? What umbrella is that? So
I kind of ride the line of between a car service and a taxi.
Yeah.
I'm not classified as a taxi. I'm classified as non-emergency medical transportation. So as long as I'm driving a regular vehicle, there's no extra things that I have to go in yet. I have all the paperwork for everything, saying I'm, everything's legit. But that's really it. That's really it. So there's no extra things that I need because I don't want to be a taxi.
Yeah.
A taxi is a demand and ride kind of thing. If you're stuck at the grocery store, I can't come and get you. But if you call me today and say I need to go to the grocery store tomorrow, then I will bring you, I will wait for you, and then I'll bring you home.
Is that the delineation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. A demand and ride service is not what I am. So think of me as more of a car service versus a taxi cab.
Okay. Are you looking to expand?
Absolutely.
You are?
Absolutely, yeah. I've gotten real busy. So I've been helping the healthcare for the homeless in Manchester.
Okay.
So I've been helping out, and they've got me real busy.
I'll bet.
And then plus all my regulars. So I'm working on trying to get people to come on board that want to kind of do that kind of work, even if it's only part-time, just to help me get off the road as I grow and start to bring other services on, like an accountant, payroll, things like that. But right now, it's all me.
Well, that's a whole new world, though. We start bringing on, would you call them employees, or would they be like
absolutely
contractors? Or
so in the beginning, it'll be independent contractors.
Yeah.
Just looking for a few extra hours.
Yep.
No big deal.
Still a side gig.
Yeah, kind of. They already have a job. They're just looking for some extra money. Just until I figure out what that realm looks like, because I've never dived down that road, because
you haven't done it yet at all.
Right.
Okay.
Because it's all still so new. The last 5 months have been the best 5 months on record for me.
Why?
Because it's slow. It's a trust issue. There's a lot of trust issue there.
Good point.
And especially with elderly.
Oh, hang on to that. That is very important. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Hang on, Sloopy. Sloopy, hang on. You are listening to NH Unscripted. We are coming to you from the Car 54 Light Digs of the WKXL studios in Concord, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM. And for you beautiful souls in Manchester, 101.9 FM. Yeah, we got you. We know who you are. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Kevin Lefebvre's in the building. We'll be right back because I got more questions. Good morning, Starshine. Yes. You are listening to NH Unscripted. I'm your Oliver-like host, Ray Dudley, coming to you from the Taj Mahal-like digs of the WKXL studios. My God, it is cavernous in here. You are listening to us, hopefully on your transistor radio at 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord. And for the souls in Manchester, God, we love you down there, 101.9 FM. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. And as I said at the beginning of the show, we deal mainly with entertainment. But what good is entertainment if nobody can come to see it? And that means transportation, right? Transportation. We want our audience to be able to get out to see the things we do. And so Kevin Lefebvre is in the house. He has a business called F&R Transport, and where I'm picking his brain here about all things that are going on out there. Sir, you said the last 5 months were some of your best. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that again?
Absolutely. So in mid-May, I got a call from one of the local hospitals in Manchester asking for some help with their healthcare for the homeless. And so I sat down with them, and we just came to an agreement, and they have put me through the roof busy. I average probably 3 or 4 rides a day with them, which is a lot for me. And they go from, and it's all pretty local, but it's all over. And I see a whole wide range of people that really need help. And that exposure has opened me up to other offices within them, other divisions, other social workers that I hadn't had access to before. And then as I get out there more with them, I have found that more people have heard about me because of them, because of doctors' offices now that have met me, or, office managers that have met me, and the calls just have roll in. I average probably 7 new calls a day.
A day?
7 new calls a day. And I can't help them all.
Right.
I can't. There are some that are the wheelchair transports that I can't help. And unfortunately, I want to be able to. And like I said, as I grow and get bigger, that'll be, one of the next steps. But it's just the amount of work that I've seen in the last 5 months has doubled, if not tripled, what I did year over year. And every month has gotten busier. Every month has been better than the last. So by January, I'm expecting to be full out to the max, no breaks, no rest, on the road all day long.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up, and I'd like to kind of dissect that a little bit with you. I was thinking, I think a few years ago, I see a lot of folks who, they get hammered with like a DUI, right? And they're out there riding bikes. It's raining, it's snowing, and they're on a crazy freaking bike. And I'm thinking to myself, surely there's a business here for somebody to contact these people, because they have to be on that bike. They're going to be without a license for potentially 6 months, a year, more. That would be a great business. I'm sure who the heck wants to ride a bike in the snow to a job when they could get a ride, right? Anyway, so I can see where this would be going. How does the market for the homeless, does it differ than the elderly market? I mean, they have different needs than what you would, because that would be maybe a different setup for you? So
the homeless setup is that I only work with one shelter but 2 offices, and then I bring them to anything related to that hospital. So I usually pick up in Manchester, and then I bring them to an office, and then I get them back to the shelter. And that's all booked through the hospital. So I will, like I said, I'll go there. And where for the elderly, they're going all over.
Yeah.
I may take somebody from Manchester to Salem, but with the homeless stuff, it's usually within 5 miles.
Yeah.
Because it's only affiliated with that hospital. So that is all very much, very, very local. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm good at doing that, because it's all so local. It's 3, I think it's total 5. The furthest office is 5 miles from the shelter. And then the other office that I work for mainly with them it's just a doctor's office, and I'm picking people up that used to live in the shelter that now live in a home. So now I'm going to that home, picking them up and bringing them to that office.
Got you.
So, but it's been crazy. It's, I see a lot of people that way. I see a lot of people in a lot of different situations, and it's tough. It's tough.
Oh, I'll bet.
To see and to, have to drop them back off at a homeless shelter. And, but it gives me hope that, maybe this will help them get that, now they're getting them the medical care that they need. Maybe it gets them on the right path to getting back to, a lot of them want to get back home. I see a lot of people that are from down south. I have a lot of clients that way from down south.
You mean like Lowell? I mean, no.
No, I mean like South Carolina. I've met a lot of no, but I do have Massachusetts clients.
Yeah.
But I've met a ton of people from like South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama,
who have moved up here,
that are now here, and their main focus is to get back home where their kids are. They want to get back in being with their kids, and they went through a rough patch, and now they're here, and so now they're trying to get on the right path so they can get back home.
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. All right, wow, I'm kind of stumped here. The hospitals obviously kind of do some screening for you, right? I mean, do you ever get fearful of who you may be picking up? With the hospitals, at least, they've kind of done a pre-screening.
Sure, absolutely. That's a great question, actually. There are some people that I get worried about, but the hospital knows who I'm picking up, because they're the one booking the ride, not the client. The hospital saying, "Hey, we have this client's got to go to this office and then back here. Can you do it?"
So when you see someone walking out in shackles, do you take off?
Again, not one of those I've never gotten the call for. But no, like you said, so the hospital is really good at and they let me know, if there's somebody that has some issues going on, but they've never put me in a situation where I felt unsafe driving the person.
Yeah.
That it's been a weird ride or an odd ride, but it's never been an unsafe ride. And they're really good at that. And because their goal is to make sure that these people are getting their health needs taken care of.
Yeah.
And they don't want to, and I don't mean to say, I don't want to say it in a weird way, but, bite the hand that feeds them, because there isn't a lot like me out there.
Yeah, no kidding.
The last company they had used just closed up one day, and they were left without any help, and that's how they found me. So, they don't want to hurt, cause any issue there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's been really great. They're fantastic. They're super open and honest. I know just about everybody that would call, and I have a really good rapport. So when I say, hey, is this person okay today? There are people that I worry about.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to get into that too in a little while with you.
Yeah, so, but they're really great about it. They're really fantastic about making sure that I'm going to be safe.
Yeah. Give out the information again, your website and phone number.
Sure. My website is fandrtransport.com. My telephone number is 603-361-5531. And again, that's a cell phone, so you can leave a message any time of day or text.
Just not while this show's playing. No, actually, I hope people do call you. Do you have a not a fear, but a concern that now that you've started dipping your toe into the homeless area, do you think that might overtake your elderly one, or will you always be focusing on the elderly part?
Elderly will always come first. Always. Because that's why I got into this business. As I grow, I may separate things and hire people and bring people on just to take care of that demographic. Mm-hmm. But elderly will always be at the heart and soul of what I do, because that's what got me here today. That's why I'm in business today, is because there are people out there that are scared of not being able to get to their appointments and need a way to get there. And I take calls all the time from people out west taking care of their parents.
Man, oh man. Wow. This is so eye-opening. All right, we got one more block to go. One more block. I can do it. I can do this. You are listening to NH Unscripted. Mind blown. Kevin, I'm so happy you're here. 1450 AM, 103.9 FM for the souls in Concord, 101.9 FM for the beautiful people in Manchester. God, we love you down there. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL. Kevin Lefebvre's in the house. We're talking transportation for the elderly. We will be right back. A little smile for me. Ooh, yeah, you are listening to NH Unscripted. I am your flying machine-like host, Ray Dudley. We are coming to you from the YMCA-like digs of the WKXL studios in Concord. I can smell the chlorine from here. Don't be snapping any towels at me. You are listening to us either on 1450 AM or 103.9 FM in Concord, or 101.9 FM in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is our URL, where if you were to go out there, you would find a button where you can listen to this program, or actually any other program here at the studio, live. You can also find the archives of this show, previous episodes, and archives of all the other shows and programs that take place here out there at NHTalkRadio.com as well. Kevin Lefebvre is in the house, and we're talking about his business, F&R Transport. But he brought up something very interesting in the meantime. See how things come all the way around. Kevin, what were you telling me about coaching down there in Manchester?
So I am a football coach with Manchester West High School, and we have a pretty good growing program right now, and we were actually just selected as one of the top 16 finalists for the T-Mobile Friday Night Lights program, which gets the winner will get a $2 million field renovation and a state-of-the-art equipment room. So we are trying to get as many lights as we can on our Friday Night's Lights post on Instagram, MWS Football on Instagram. If you go ahead and see the video that T-Mobile put out and give us a like and then reshare it, we are trying to become the number one light school in the country and hopefully get that program. November 1st, T-Mobile will be at our home field for our last home game of the year, and throwing a big party, and Friday Night Lights will be there. So I've been doing that a long time, been coaching football for 16 years, and so this is, and West is my alma mater, so it's great to be back home. But I really like to help the kids.
Yeah.
You know, they turned a program from 13 kids a year ago into 65 this year.
Sweet,
baby, and our whole program is 9-1 right now.
Man, what?
Yep.
Give that Instagram URL one more time.
It's MWS Football on Instagram.
And you're in the top 16.
And we're in the top 16.
Nationwide.
Nationwide.
Okay. Do it, folks. Go out there. Like it. Kevin, we're talking about your transportation business, which is booming. How is it funded? How do you, are people charged like by the hour? Do you charge it by the day? Who pay? Do they all pay? I mean, can everybody afford to pay? Homeless can't, right? I mean,
correct. So with the homeless stuff, it is through the hospital. Hospital pays me.
Okay.
I get a voucher from them, and they pay me. I bill them, and then they pay me.
Is it an hourly rate?
So they're a set rate.
Okay.
So that I have a set rate with them.
Okay.
So if let's just say you're going to the doctor's, right? And I'm taking you, picking you up, dropping you off, bringing you home. It's $70 round trip for up to 2 hours. So if you go to the regular doctor's and it's, you're just there an hour and a half, get you home, $70, no problem.
And you'll wait.
And I wait.
And
yep.
you wait.
Yep. And that covers everything.
Crazy.
That covers everything. If it goes over the 2 hour mark, I charge $10 every half an hour after. So it's still not terrible.
He's losing money. You need a business plan. Go ahead.
And then, so let's say you need to go to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't doing that for a long time, but I saw there was a need for it. And I said, there's no way I can charge somebody $70 to go to the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Elderly, $70 to go to the grocery store. So I call that my errand rate. And to run errands, as long as it's within the local area, it's $20 an hour.
Dude, you can't gas up for that much. How are you surviving? $20?
$20 an hour.
And you'll go in and make sure the avocados are ripe for them.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. And then if you need to go to, you need to go to Boston.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that I give an estimate on. So what I will do is I will get all the information, the office you're going to, where you live, and I put together an estimate. So what I do on my end is I figure out the mileage, and I figure out, I'll ask you roughly how long is this appointment usually. That's the only time I charge travel time, is to go outside of my 25 miles.
Wow.
So let's say you got to go to Boston for a chemo appointment. Chemo appointment's 4 hours. I say, okay, I figure out the mileage. I say, all right, this is what it's going to cost you for the mileage from your house to there and back, and then whatever time you expect. So if it's 7 hours, I build that into my quote. But it's only an estimate, because if we're there longer, we get stuck in traffic.
Right.
So it's only an estimate, but I do give you a quote so that you have an idea of where we're at.
Yeah.
And then, and that's it. So those are my 3 pricing points.
Do you work with the government at all to help cover any of it, or is it strictly out of pocket?
Strictly out of pocket. So when I started 5 years ago, I wanted to become an insurance provider.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get credentialed with insurance, and that process is long. It can be expensive, but when I called them, I had a conversation with the provider that New Hampshire used at the time for their Medicare and New Hampshire Healthy Families, and in Manchester alone, there was 125 providers.
Whoa.
That take insurance. And that can be individuals, that can be companies. They had an oversaturation. So I said, I'm not going to dip my toe into that world and just be another face in the crowd.
Yeah.
I wanted to separate myself. I said, let me take care of the people that are just private pay that that don't use insurance. Let me help them because they're the ones that are trying to get cabs. They're the ones that are trying to get family members. These other people are able to get transportation through their insurance, but the other ones are left out in the cold.
Yeah.
And I said, that's where I want to be. Let me hone in on that so that I can help as many people as possible. And that's what's got me here.
So you have regular clients, right?
Correct.
You must get close to them. Some of them are like really cool people, right? They're so
absolutely.
sweet and cool.
Absolutely.
You know, this is my little Kevin. He's a driver. He's been driving for me for 15 years.
I do have a couple that are near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
That I would do just about anything for.
You'd be brokenhearted, man, if they ever.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
man.
I have one that her brother passed away. I was taking care of him. That one was tough. Ended up being a pallbearer at his funeral.
What?
Yep, that was.
How much did you charge? Just kidding. It's included in the fee.
Yeah. But no, but really, like, I do get close to a lot of these people.
Yeah.
They do end up, I've had clients that I've had almost the entire time I've been open. I've been to more funerals than I care to think about.
Man, that's the problem with that demographic.
Absolutely, but I've taken people to their kid's funeral. I've taken people to their parents' funeral. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Those are tough days. And there are clients that I have that when they eventually pass on, I will be brokenhearted.
I'll bet.
I will have lost a friend, not just a client, but a friend. And I hear everything. There isn't. I become a sounding board more often than I care to talk about.
I'll bet they're like, my little Joey called me yesterday, and he just can't. Do you ever get like? Are they kind enough to like, Kevin, I made you some cookies. Here's some.
Again, more times than I can count, and there have been plenty of times that I
knew it.
that I said thank you, and then put a smile on my face, and let's just say that they did not get eaten by me.
Yeah. What's the biggest hurdle here for you? I know you want to expand now, but one car, you have to be totally blocked out. I can't imagine you're not busy on certain days.
Oh, absolutely. So there are days that Tuesdays are my worst day.
Why?
Because I have a woman that I take for 3 hours every Tuesday.
Oh.
Every Tuesday. And then I have a woman that I bring to work 4 days a week. And those are back to back. And so my morning's gone, So
yeah.
Most days I am not at home very often.
Yeah.
There are days that I'm like, oh, I get to go home for 10 minutes today before I have to go to football practice.
Wow.
So it keeps me quite busy.
You have a family yourself?
I do. I'm married with a young daughter. She was 10. So
yeah, okay. All right, 2 pieces of information. Your website, and give us that Instagram one again.
My website is fnrtransport.com. The Instagram page I'd like you to go and like the video post is MWS Football. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Kevin Lefebvre, FNR Transport. You have been listening to NH Unscripted, 1450 AM, 103.9 FM in Concord, 101.9 FM for you folks in Manchester. NHTalkRadio.com is the URL. God, these shows like this are why I get out of bed. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll catch you on the next one.